Hey guys, Coach Adam again. The purpose of this video is to help players understand what can they do to warm up, to practice, to get ready as they're waiting for the inning to officially start, for a batter to get into the batter box and for the umpire to say play ball. Well, of course, you've got the pitcher on the mound throwing practice pitches to the catcher who's squatted behind home plate. Now, of course, the catcher might take a minute to put the gear on, especially if the catcher had just hit. So there might be a coach squatted behind home plate initially making those catches. As the pitcher's throwing to the catcher, what does everybody else do? Well, do they stand around and watch the pitcher throwing to the catcher? As cool as that might be, no. Do they stand around and pick daisies? No, right? Everybody's actually got a really important job to do in these crucial few minutes. The first baseman really takes the lead for the infield. He brings a ball out with him, and he throws grounders to the second baseman, shortstop, and third baseman. Now, a grounder is just a ball that bounces across the field. So say he throws a grounder to third base. Right after he throws that grounder to third base, he's going to move his body, the first baseman is, over to first base to put his foot on the bag, just like he would in a game. And then the third baseman, of course, is going to scoop up that ball and throw it over to first, where that first baseman is there ready to catch and make the out. Then the second baseman will throw a grounder to the next player, say the shortstop, get himself over to first. The shortstop will then throw that ball over to first, where the first baseman's ready to make the catch and make the out. And then, of course, to the second baseman, grounder, first baseman gets over there, and the second baseman throws it, and the first baseman makes the catch. So that is what's going on in the infield, and so it's very critical that the first baseman remembers to bring a ball out with him so he can throw those grounders over to the rest of the infield. Everybody's taking turns in practice getting some really awesome outs over on first base. So that's what's going on in the infield. While that's happening, out in the outfield, you've got a right fielder and that player in right center playing catch. So they can throw each other grounders to practice. They can throw each other pop flies. They can throw each other line drives. But the main point is they're playing catch. And so they've brought a ball out with them. And then the same thing is going on in left field and in left center. So they're throwing each other pop flies. They're throwing each other grounders. They're just having a really good time playing catch. And so you're going to have 4 balls going through the air during this warm-up session. Of course, you've got the pitcher with the game ball throwing to the catcher, and then you've got the first baseman's ball that's being thrown around the infield. Then you've got the ball being used in right field and right center, and then you've got the ball being used in left field and left center. So all of this is going on prior to the umpire saying, "Ball's in, coming down." Now that means that the inning is about to officially start. That half inning is about to officially start. So what do you do when the umpire says ball's in, coming down? Well, everybody throws their practice balls. Everything but the game ball gets thrown back to the coach on the side. So the outfield balls get thrown out. The first baseman ball gets thrown out. All those balls are put away right when, or as soon as possible after the umpire says, ball's in, coming down. So that's what you do with those balls. You get them off the field because you only need one ball in a baseball game to play. Now, what happens with the ball the pitcher's using? Well, the pitcher is going to throw one more pitch, and everybody's going to pretend like there's a runner over on first base who's trying to steal second. And so when that ball gets to the catcher's going to jump up and throw a very aggressive throw over to second base, where the shortstop has moved over to cover second and is there to make the catch and make the pretend tag of the guy stealing the base. Now, while this is happening, the second baseman has a very important job too. The second baseman runs to the edge of the grass and stands right about there, ready to back up the shortstop in the event that the ball thrown from the catcher gets past the shortstop. We don't want that to go forever. We don't want the guy to keep being able to go to third. We want to be able to get that ball and hold him at second base, right? And so when the umpire says ball's in, coming down, the pitcher's going to throw one last pitch. The catcher's going to throw that ball the second. The shortstop's going to catch it, and the second baseman's going to be ready to back it up. And then the ball will just be returned back to the pitcher. Everyone will take their normal starting positions, and the game will begin.